Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. It's time. On a Monday morning like no other. Once more, we nerd-venge. Don't worry. I'm on my way. Yes, sir! What's up, everybody, and welcome to your Monday morning, your Monday stream. On my way to Nerdvenger's Tower, and I am quite excited. I think it's going to be a good day. We've got a busy day of streams ahead of us. So right now, we're going to talk about Marvel, the MCU, all these crazy reveals and leaks about Secret Wars, Deadpool 3, Fantastic Four, the MCU Reboot. I want to lay this out there for you because I think I figured it all out. And it's actually pretty cool. So we're going to break that down. And then later tonight, we've got a stream where we will break down all the latest leaks and rumors and craziness when it comes to Ahsoka episode 5. I'm pulling in. I'll see you in a second. What the hell is that? Why was that so fucking loud? Jesus. What the? Wait. What was just happening? Chat. Was that broken? Was that crazy? Was the audio busted there? Because I just saw something on my screen that made it seem like it was ridiculous. Is it like was that okay? Seemed okay? I swear on my screen, one of these outputs was like all the way in the red. I wasn't like blowing out your ears. You're okay? You're not destroyed? Very busted? What the hell, Rob? What are you talking about? We're good here? It looked loud, but it wasn't. Okay. Josh, bro, I'm an Izzy fan, but Strickland won 5 fucking baby. Let's holy shit. Wait, what? I'm a def donate 2K to Unity. Love you, brother. All right. Well, first of all, thank you so much. I don't know if I fully understood what you just wrote, but yeah, the Sean Strickland fight was pretty crazy. I guess we can start there. Look, I've got a lot of show notes and cool stuff to talk about, but let's just for 1 second, how about them Niners? Ban him! No, I'm just kidding. Don't ban him. I've been a Steelers fan for a long time. Good years, bad years. I remember watching Slash as the quarterback. If y'all don't know who that was. Phenomenal beginnings and a terrible elongated end. It'll be okay. I don't know if this is our year. It'll be okay. Okay. As far as the fight goes, man, I'll touch on this briefly. I know not all of you guys are UFC fights, but I just would like to tell you the story from my perspective. You know what I mean? So, for me, man, I'm sitting there and didn't even I knew the card was coming out this week, but I wasn't like that excited about it. I don't know about you guys. I was like, the card's a little lackluster. And I'm sitting there Saturday, kind of like, do I want to even get the card, right? And so we got the pay-per-view, and man, what a crazy night of fights. A lot of knockouts and just a lot of really explosive fights. And I was like, damn, this is actually a really good night of fights leading into what I thought was going to be kind of like a dismantling of Sean Strickland. And I think the weird part of that fight was like Izzy was doing his thing. Like his thing is usually, a lot of feinting, getting the distance and measuring. And like Sean is such an awkward fighter, and he presses at this like really weird distance. He gets in the pocket in a way that's really uncomfortable. And he basically just has like this weird like Philly shell Muay Thai combo that's like really, I guess it's just really tricky. You know what I mean? It's really tricky to get through that. And I also think Izzy just looked horrible. You know what I mean? Like, to be honest, I felt like he looked horrible. I don't know if like Sean legitimately got in his head. I don't know if he got in his own head. I don't know if there's other stuff going on. You never really know, but it was very weird to watch a Philly shell, like just awkward style, walk down and beat maybe one of the greatest, most dynamic strikers we've ever seen in the sport. And even though the fight wasn't technically like all that thrilling and exciting, just the stakes of what was going on and the sort of like shock for me of like, oh my God, he's beating him with a jab and a hook. This is ridiculous. It's like the person that comes to play the fighting game or comes to play Super Smash Bros. And knows nothing and then just button mashes. Like, it's a little bit like that. Like, holy shit, that was crazy. So, yeah, shout out to Sean. I don't know what's next for Izzy. That is a very interesting L for him to take. So it'll be interesting to see how he sort of responds to that. But I had a great time watching the fights, man. I had a great time watching the fights, and I think it's the best sport in the world by far. By far. Okay. Let's talk a little bit of show notes, baby. Okay. First thing, I'm way behind on this, and I need your guys' help. We need to figure out the meetup in October. What's an L? Jesus Christ. Yeah, so I was saying Strickland won me $5K. What? What? Dude, are you serious? Dude, D Murdoch, that's crazy. You don't have to do 2K. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, I appreciate the support. I'm going to talk about Unity in a second, but that, dude, I thought I had a good time watching the fights. Holy shit, dude. You must have had a real good time watching those fights. Man. Oh, man, that's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, let's talk about October. Guys, I talked to Ryan a little bit about this, and the main thing we need to get is like a relative tentative head count, okay? So basically my prediction right now is that the meetup will probably be around like 30 people, maybe 50 people at maximum. That's like what I'm thinking. I'm like, it's not going to be crazy. Not everybody can make it up to NY. But what we're going to do is I'm going to talk about that here on the stream. I'm also going to talk about it in some videos, some Nerdvenger streams. We're going to put a Google sheet together. And if you are definitely going to be there, help us out and fill out your info on the Google sheet so that we can get a relative idea, okay? We're going to have a good time. I'm thinking right now we'll probably try to line it up for later at night so that we can do trivia there as well, because Ryan usually does trivia in the restaurant. So we'll go in there, we'll do some giveaways, I'll do some prizes for people that show up, and we'll maybe do some trivia, we'll have some awesome pizza, we'll have some drinks, and we'll just hang out. It's going to be a good time. That'll be on Saturday night, but again, I need to get a relative head count for the people that are going to be there in October, so we'll talk about it more in other streams and stuff, but just look out for that. You'll see it on the Discord when we start putting the sheet around. And if you don't sign up on the sheet and you just show up, if you're a Nerdvenger, you're good and you can get in, but I can't guarantee you a spot unless you sign up. We may have to turn some people away just depending on occupancy. So we'll figure that out. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now, to make it a little tricky, one of the issues is we're not going to have the Nerdvenger stream tomorrow. Okay, but let me explain why. We're going to bump that to Thursday. So we'll talk about that on Thursday. But guys, let's talk just a little bit here about Unity, and there's a reason why. Because, I mean, first of all, we got to get funded, but also because of something really cool that's happening tomorrow, okay? So, oh, gosh damn it. Gosh damn it. Okay, so check this out. Here we are. Unity Kickstarter. Boom. God damn it. Let's check it out. Where are we at? Okay, doing really well. Just over 44,453 backers. Here's the deal, guys. We have 9 days to go. Okay, and this is an all or nothing campaign. I probably should have explained this earlier, and maybe should have just done this on Indiegogo, to be honest with you, because Kickstarter is like giving us no love on discoverability. But that's another story for another time. The point is this: if we don't get to 50,000, we raise nothing, no money. So we've got 9 days to push on the Kickstarter to get this book funded. Okay. Now, one of the things we're gonna do tomorrow, and I wanted to bring this up today because if you don't have the muchos dineros, if you can't back the book right now, I 100% understand. I get it. Times are hard. Do me a favor. I need your help tomorrow. Tomorrow, I need your help. We're going to do a special stream tomorrow talking all about Unity. And Comics Explained, Rob himself is going to come on the stream and he's going to basically ask me questions about the book. Now, this is really cool for a number of different reasons. Number one, Rob is a comic book aficionado, the GOAT of comic book YouTube, a huge staple in that space, okay? Also, I showed him some of the stuff like a long time. I've been kind of like just sending him stuff from Unity. I sent him a video a long time ago or whatever. He legitimately thinks it's super cool. He's excited about the book. So I'm like, let's go. So, tomorrow, here's the deal. We're going to literally have like, it's going to be like, you know, like me and Rob on the thumbnail or whatever. And he's going to be talking to me about the comic. So you'll get a lot of information about the book tomorrow. But what I need is I need your help. Even if you've backed the book or whatever, but especially like if you can't support financially, support by sharing out the stream tomorrow, showing up to the stream. I want to get as many eyeballs on that stream as is possible because it's going to be different. It's not going to be like a Marvel this, Star Wars that, right? So I think less interest. You just won't have as many people showing up. So I need y'all to show up and I need you to help support, get the vibes going, get it to be exciting. Because for me, I'm really excited about creating this book, about sitting down to talk with Rob. Like, it feels really cool. One of the things that's been going on as I've been promoting the book more and I've been reaching out to more comic book people is I'm starting to like understand that scene a little bit more and get plugged in. And it feels like this is the beginning of a journey, not just to create this book, but to become involved in comics and to try to like do what I can to support the comics industry and make comics more popular and just tell great stories via the medium of comics because it's awesome. So I'm genuinely like super hyped up about a lot of what is going on, but we need to get this book funded. Okay. So that's the big push for the next 9 days is to get the book funded. And, so I'm going to be pushing it as much as I can, without annoying everybody to the point where they're like, shut the fuck up about Unity. We get it. We get it. Shut up and dribble. You know what I mean? And also I'm sweaty now. That's your fault for getting me so hot and bothered when it comes to the comic. I did back that book, Boobs. I thought it looked cool, to be honest. I was like, that's cool. Hang on, I gotta adjust something here. There we go. Okay. All right, now, shall we talk? Shall we begin? Wait, is there anything else I needed to talk about with show notes? October meetup, we're gonna need some numbers. Unity, the big stream with Rob tomorrow. I think that might be it. That might be all the show notes. I mean, if I forgot, we can talk about it later. Okay, so here's the deal when it comes to Marvel, guys. And again, I guess this is the other one. Ahsoka tonight. Okay, so Theory is either in LA or in transit from LA. So he let me know a while back that he wasn't going to be able to do Nerd Theory tonight. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to stream here. We're going to open up the tower 8 p.m. tonight, and we're going to deep dive on the newest Ahsoka leaks, rumors, speculation, theories, just deep dive on Ahsoka episode 5 because I'm super excited about it. There's a lot of cool stuff. So I'll see y'all tonight 8 p.m. for that. But this morning, I'd like to talk a little MCU. I'd like to kind of lay out for you what I actually think is going on with Marvel Studios, because we follow this stuff pretty closely, and I think since the beginning of the strikes, and maybe even a little bit before that, there was a lot of question as to what is happening actually. What is the plan overall, and what do we think we know about Secret Wars, etc., etc. So, the first place that I want to start, and by the way, I got notes. I got a graph that's going to explain what's actually going on. I got things. I got things, okay? So, first thing that I want to talk about is the directors and writers for Secret Wars, and I guess the Kang Dynasty a little bit as well, okay? Because when last we met our heroes, we had heard that both Michael Waldron and Jeff Loveness had been let go. They're no longer writing on the Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars. We've talked about this before. I think most of you are actually pretty positive on that. For me, it's a little bit like, I totally get the I totally get the Jeff Loveness thing. I don't love Michael Waldron being gone. I strongly feel that Michael Waldron is an important talent that actually did some great stuff. But here's the deal. I think both of these guys are probably going to get writer or story credit. So whatever they already did for these scripts, I think is not going to be completely reworked. And here's the thing, right? Part of this is weird because, like, Marvel and their system, if you're a writer, you're kind of coming in and it's not like they're asking you like, hey, what kind of story would you like to tell here? It's really more like, okay, this is what the movie is. Here's all the beats that are important. Here's the action that's going to happen. Here's how it's going to end. Here's a couple of moments we need in there. And so when a writer for Marvel comes in, they're really piecing that and threading that all together. Okay? They're threading that all together and creating the story that kind of makes that all work, like flow, right? So, for instance, like, I don't think Michael Waldron was discovering or creating the way by which the multiversal characters are going to pop up. I don't think Michael Waldron was choosing which characters were going to pop up. Because, like, real talk, like, bro, they already signed these people. Like, imagine you're Michael Waldron, right? And you turn in a script that doesn't even have Hugh Jackman or Toby or RDJ in it. And they're just like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, that's the movie. You freaking butthole, you know? So, like, you can't just do that, right? So whoever these writers are that come in are probably really more handling maybe some like framing of the story, the, you know, certain characters in their perspective, how it all, you know, fits together, what character moments are going to fuel this part, that part. And to me, I do believe both those guys are going to get credit. And in some ways, the director is actually a bigger deal and more important, I think, particularly to Secret Wars. Okay? So we know we have Destin Daniel Crichton on Kang Dynasty, probably on Shang-Chi 2, which we are going to talk about, Shang-Chi 2. But for now, let's talk about the main rumored directors. And I want to start with the newest one, who is my favorite pick, and also probably definitely not going to happen. But I think there is actually hope, and I think there's also a method to Kevin Feige's madness here. Okay, so this is Alfonso Cuarón, and he is an absolute legend. How many of you guys know about this guy or have watched some of his movies? They're absolutely incredible. Have you seen Children of Men? Like, have you seen Children of Men, chat? Does Marvel have continuity officers or something who work with each movie and show connecting their plots in the larger story? I think it's mostly just Feige and his executives, to be honest with you. He did Harry Potter 3. Exactly. He did Harry Potter 3, which is such a good movie. Holy crap. He also did an indie movie called Waimato. It's like The House of My Father or something like that. Waimato Itambien or something. I forget. It's a really good fucking movie, too. But here's what's weird about this, okay? So a lot of people see this guy and this name, and they're like, that is so absurd. Waitu Mama Tambien? Is that what it is? Great film. Weird movie, but great movie. So I think when a lot of people see this guy, they're like, dude, that's so not gonna happen. This guy's like this creative artiste, you know. He's like a Denis Villeneuve, to be honest with you. He's very similar in his sensibilities, just the creativity. He is a force of nature, you know what I mean, with his storytelling. And so you think, like, and it is kind of funny, right? Because Secret Wars is a movie based on a comic book that was designed to sell toys originally. Like, let's not get it twisted. The original Secret Wars was like, they went to Jim Shooter and they were like, we want to sell toys. What about a story with all the heroes versus all the villains? And Jim Shooter just comes up with this crazy Beyonder and like all this crazy shit. And it's literally just the heroes versus the villains on a total different world. That's what Secret Wars is. So it's a derivative story to the max. And you might say, like, well, that is so weird to bring in a guy like Alfonso here to do that kind of a movie. But then I think to the Harry Potter movie, right? Where you took this thing that was, you know, pretty commercial. I mean, Harry Potter at the time was like maybe the most commercial thing I've ever seen. You would go into like Walmarts and they'd have these cages full of books. It was insane, the amount of people that would go in and get these books. And it was at the time, I think, considered the ultimate commercial thing. And they bring in Alfonso to put his sort of panache, his style, his flair over top of that thing. And it was incredibly effective. Like, he's able to hit the dark notes, pull out the character moments that are needed for this film. It's a really like family thing that's driven with a lot of mystery and like horror vibes. I like it a lot. And I think with Secret Wars, I think one of the big, you know, maybe you call it a fear, maybe it's just fair criticism. It's a movie that's basically just smashing all the toys together in a lot of ways. So I think in order to maybe give it a little bit more of a actual serious tone and maybe like a little bit more of a serious consideration, getting Quaron would be absolutely incredible. I think it would be great. I actually think too it would be kind of cool to bring in the guy that wrote his Harry Potter movie too, Steve Kloves, and maybe get him on that script or something like that. Although Quaron has worked on a lot of stuff with different writers, but I think that would be kind of dope, man. He's also worked on Amazing Spider-Man. Steve Kloves could be cool to kind of come in as well. So I don't know. I like the Quaron thing. I doubt it's happening, bro. I doubt it's happening. But it's interesting because it shows what they're thinking. Even if this doesn't happen, it's a little bit of an insight to what Feige and his executives are thinking. You know what I mean? Steve Kloves did the last Fantastic Beasts. No. Did he do the first one or just the last one? I haven't even seen the last one, to be honest. But yeah, that would be dope, man. I would really, really like that. Now, another pick that is out there to direct Secret Wars is Sean Levy. And dude, I like this pick too. I like this pick as well. Sean Levy seems like this super talented but also just super enthusiastic. Like his energy is awesome, man. I've been watching a lot of interviews with him. He just won an award and accepted that Taika presented that award. It's so interesting, and I just really dig this dude's vibes, and I think he would be a great ambassador for the brand. And at the end of the day, if the movie is just smashing the superhero toys together, which is fine. Like, dude, are you kidding me? Like, I love smashing my toys together, right? So if that's what it is, I think Sean Levy is a great ambassador for that type of a movie and for that type of fun and that type of experience. Can you imagine the red carpet, the interviews, everything with Sean Levy? And I like this dude's movies, dude. I like this dude's movies. I think Free Guy is a super underrated movie. I think The Adam Project is a super underrated movie. I love The Adam Project on Netflix. Go check it out if you have not seen it. It's super fun. So I think Levy would be great. And the thing is, Deadpool 3, it just has all the vibes right now, all the positivity, all the hype. It's the most hyped up thing on the Marvel schedule. It is the thing that's going to, quote unquote, save the MCU for some people. It's hyped up, man. So I say, especially if Deadpool goes the way we think it's going to go, Sean could get the nod and get the job, and I like that a lot, man. I think that could be really cool. Now, another name that's out there is Sam Raimi. Okay? We all know about Sam Raimi. I don't got to pull up Sam Raimi, but I'm curious as to what you guys think about Sam Raimi, and especially when you consider the other directors that are going on here, right? So let's think about, what do all hell no to Sam? No! Oh my goodness. Okay, let's go to the polls. You guys. You freaking guys. I love Sam Raimi. You freaking guys. Okay. Sam Raimi. Secret Wars. Let's see. Let's see what you guys have to say. Am I going to get triggered? Is this the end of the positive Josh? It's over now. Tell him to turn down the campiness. Yeah, I wouldn't mind the campiness, taking it down a couple of notches. But, like, to me, the camp is worth it for just, like, what I think is just solid AF filmmaking. You guys know how I feel about Multiverse Madness. It's a goddamn masterpiece. And I think, like, I'm sorry, I'm just going to have to be that guy. I feel like if you don't see why that movie's a masterpiece, like, that's your fucking problem. It's not my problem. That movie is a masterpiece. And literally, it gets the little things right. That's what's so cool. Like, I'm talking about little things like Strange making the water into wine. Strange flipping his cape around as he comes down. Some of the angles by which they approach the shots when they're fighting. It's so comic books. Oh my God. Don't you dare. You guys are driving me crazy. Okay, look. 57% of you say yes. 42% of you say no. Interesting. Okay, new poll. I need a new one. If it had to be one of these, who you got? And we'll go Sam Raimi, Alfonso, how do you spell his name? Cuarón with a C, I believe, yeah? Okay. And then we'll go Sean. Okay. Boom. This one I'm interested in. This is what I want to know. I want to know. 57% is terrible. 57% is not what you're looking for. I'll agree with you on that. I don't know if I'd say terrible, but that's not what you're looking for there. You want like a 70s, 80s, 90s, and then you're like, oh, I feel good. The Duffer Bros? You should have done none of the... Just answer the poll, Trev. Holy shit. Alfonso would help with the critics, but it wouldn't be the they could not be extra judgy. Ooh, that's interesting. Wow. So this is kind of interesting as we let these votes kind of trickle in. It looks like Quran is he's in third, not by like a crazy amount. Sean is getting the most love. Sam is in second. That is quite interesting. We'll keep that poll up and see how it changes a little bit. But that is really interesting. Okay, now before we get into some of this other stuff, I just want to say, let's think about what all of these directors have in common. Okay, because again, we're trying to form a picture of like what's going on right now with Marvel and when it comes to Secret Wars. So I think you could say all of them are experienced. Even Levy, who is kind of younger in the game, is not really younger in the game. He's been in the game for a long, long time. It's just he's really popped up and popped off in the last couple of years. So tons of experience. I think they've all got a good sort of, what would you call it? A cachet or like a pool with the audience. Sam Raimi has his fans. Quaron has his fans. I think Sean Levy has his fans. And I think Sean Levy gets more fans every time he opens up his mouth, to be honest with you. But maybe that's just because I vibe with the guy so much. So they all have experience. They all have, a built-in fandom. Two of them have worked within the Marvel system effectively. And the other one has worked within the Harry Potter system effectively. So they know how to handle big IP with a lot of money on the line, so they understand four quadrant sensibilities. So I think that's probably what they're looking for, right? And Quran would be my pick. Quran is my pick. I would love Levy as well. I think Sam Raimi would deliver an absolutely incredible Secret Wars. Now, again, these are all just kind of rumors, speculation, leaks, and all that. It could be other folks. Interestingly, I know that Marvel wanted... why am I blanking on his name? Help me out here, chat. Wakanda Forever. Creed movies. Blanking on his name. They wanted him. Apparently, he didn't want to do it. Ryan Coogler. Apparently, he didn't want to do it, and I heard maybe, there were people talking about how maybe it was a money thing, but honestly, really, Coogler just didn't want to do it. So, and by the way, I don't blame him. Wakanda Forever was probably the most difficult shit he's ever done, and that was probably crazy. So I totally get him not necessarily wanting to do that. As far as I understand it, there's not really any other big internal names that they're looking at. I know a lot of you guys are like, Russo's, whatever, that would be cool. Doesn't seem like that's going to happen. I do think that, oh my God, Raimi's winning the poll now? What is happening? What is going on? A bunch of Raimi fans came into the chat. Hey, I'm not mad at it. Wakanda Forever was trash. I don't think it was trash. I think it was... I would describe that movie as mad decent. It's mad decent, dude. Jovi Harold. Cool. It was sad? It was sad. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so now let's move in and let's talk about how they're going to set this thing up. Because that's the whole thing, right? It's like, we've known about Secret Wars, honestly, since 2019. Okay? I went back and watched some of the older videos that I've done and some of the older streams, and it's like, yeah, dude, it's crazy that we knew about Secret Wars almost immediately after Avengers Endgame. But here's the deal, right? How are they going to set this thing up? I would love to ask you guys, and I want to just let me know in the chat. Do you guys remember talking about a plan from Marvel where they would have cosmic stuff going on and then Earthbound stuff going on. That the plan from Marvel was a little bit of Earthbound and a little bit of cosmic. Do you remember going over those rumors? Yeah. Okay. So, also, I'll take it one step further. Do you remember the rumors that James Gunn was going to run the cosmic side? I don't know if you guys remember that. Anybody remember that? Rumors that James Gunn was going to completely take over the cosmic Marvel side. Yeah, it's so interesting how that turned out, huh? Okay, anyway. So let's talk about some of the movies that are coming out in the next couple of years. We'll talk about the confirmed ones. We'll talk about the rumored ones, okay? So we've got, and this, I'm going to put all of these on the cosmic side, which is really the multiversal side, but let's just, cosmic, multiversal, that's what it is. We've got Deadpool 3. We've got Loki Season 2, which is not a show, or not a movie, it's a show, but I'm going to put it over there because I think it's pretty significant to the cosmic story. Then we've got the rumored Doctor Strange 3, which is said to adapt elements of Time Runs Out and set up some multiversal stuff. Then you've got the Fantastic Four, which, as we just found out, is probably multiversal as well, and we're going to talk more about that as well. Shang-Chi 2, possibly a cosmic one. I actually have Shang-Chi with asterisks on both lists because I actually think Shang-Chi might be the movie that merges some of that cosmic and Earthbound stuff. But really, I think it's an Avengers level movie that will set up the Kang Dynasty. Then, on the Earthbound side, we've got Captain America 4, Blade, Thunderbolts, rumored World War Hulk, and rumored Shang-Chi 2. Okay, so what I think we have going on, and it's kind of cool because I think ultimately, even though a lot of stuff has changed and moved around over the past couple of years, the general plan that they came up with is still intact. And the general plan is we're going to split the MCU canon. And some of it's going to deal with the Earth and the Earthbound heroes and what's going on with that. Oh, I guess the Marvels is technically on there as well, but that would be... Let's not talk about it. So you've got your Earthbound story, and then you've got your cosmic multiversal story, okay? And the way I think this is going to go, and this is, here we go with another chart, another world-famous chart that's going to show you all the cool stuff, okay? So here's what you got right here, okay? You got your Earthbound, and you got your cosmic story, okay? Then it's going to collapse into itself, okay? And you're gonna have the new Earth and or Battle World, and then you've got a reboot at the end of that, and then you've got the new MCU. But we have to break this down a little bit more succinctly. So let's talk about what? I know you're not dogging that graph. It looks like a penis? Oh, Jesus. I want to show you. I'll show you what it really looks like. Here's what it really looks like, and I want you to pay attention, okay? What does it look like now? And if you get this, you get the whole thing. What does it look like now? Anybody? The time loom. Exactly. Now shut your goddamn mouth and listen to what I gotta say. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So let's go over this. Let's start with the Deadpool 3 leaks. The newest ones. Okay? The newest ones. Did Liam draw that? You motherfuckers. Okay. So, the new info about Deadpool 3 is that the TVA is going around to dying universes and collecting heroes from those universes to fight in a multiversal war, to fight on New Earth or Battle World. Okay? So, what's happening? That is a big way, and I talked about this in a video. This is the Jim Shooter payday. Okay? At least part of it. So, about 4 years ago, Jim Shooter, the guy that originally wrote Secret Wars, he gets contacted by Marvel Studios, and they want him to sign a contract that's a retroactive work for hire. Okay? I'm not going to super duper linger on this, but it's important for context. What this means is Marvel was like, oh my God, we don't have a single piece of paper that says Marvel owns like Titania and some of these other characters, and like this work for hire that Shooter did way back then, we didn't actually have the contracts written up properly. So like it's technically not even work for hire. So what they did was they did this big old contract with him about 4 to 5 years ago. They paid him $10,000, which is horseshit. They should have paid him way more. They pay him $10,000 and basically say, this is retroactive work for hire. What that means is every single thing that he created, everything he wrote, everything that he designed, every thought that came into his head while he was pooping, while he was doing that book, is now owned by the mouse. That's what it means. Okay? Now that's important because there's no reason for them to do that except for the fact that they are making the Secret Wars movie. And I think part of that had to do with grabbing up all of these heroes and having them fight against all of the villains. And just all the stuff that they want to adapt from the original Secret Wars. They didn't want to get in any legal trouble, any kind of fighting of shit like that. They wanted to just kind of put that behind them. So the TVA in Deadpool 3 and in Loki Season 2 will be going around the multiverse and grabbing up heroes to fight on Battle World. Now, let's stop for just 1 second. Number A, that makes no fucking sense whatsoever. Meaning, in Deadpool 3, they're going to be grabbing up Wolverine. Okay? When I was talking to people about this behind the scenes, I said, well, why aren't they grabbing Doctor Doom? Okay? You know, the person that could actually beat Kang. What the fuck is Wolverine gonna do to Kang? Do you know what I mean? And the truth is, it's not for any reason other than the fact that Hugh Jackman is dope. Okay? So, we've got to decide. What do we want to do here? Do we want the dope movie with all the dope heroes? Or do we want it to, like, make sense and them to grab up the proper people that could actually defeat Kang? Okay? So, I gotta be honest, I don't even love it. I see what it is. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever, that's fine. I don't even love it. But that is what it is. Okay? And they're gonna be grabbing up Wolverine. Now, a couple of different things that I want to talk about with regards to Deadpool 3. This is a really, really fun one. So apparently, Daniel Richtman scooped that, what's his face? Harry Potter boy himself, Daniel Radcliffe, was secretly cast in Deadpool 3. Okay? And one of the things that we've all been wondering when it comes to Wolverine is who's going to be the MCU Wolverine? Who's it going to be? Okay? And as I said in my video on Saturday, what I have heard and what I believe, and take this all with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. We don't know. Things change, as we're about to find out when it comes to Ahsoka. Things change. But the new Wolverine is the old Wolverine. It's Hugh Jackman. Okay? And I was even told that in Deadpool 3, they're going to make fun of a recast potential. And I heard they're going to even have some other actors playing Wolverine. And Deadpool himself will look to the camera and literally say something to the effect of, no fucking recast, Hugh Jackman or else. Something like that. Okay? So when I heard the story about Ratcliffe, I think that's what it is. So I think they might do Ratcliffe as a version of Wolverine, and basically they're gonna be like, nah, fuck that. They're kind of like Ralph Bonering us, okay? And they're just gonna have Jackman as Wolverine. Now, hold that fucking thought, because that's actually huge. It ties into Fantastic Four stuff, and it ties into the MCU reboot. Hold on to your fucking buttholes, because this shit gets crazy. And yes, that is a small samurai sword. Shut your mouth when you're talking to me. So let's talk Fantastic Four. The newest shit that we heard is that, well, first of all, there's a real rumor. I can't believe this is real. I can't believe this is real and this is what's happening, okay? But Jake Gyllenhaal is rumored to have been offered the role of Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic. Yeah, that's apparently real. Okay? But could still be Driver, could still be Matt Smith, could still be a lot of people. Here's something else that just happened that's bananas. According to Grace Randolph, which I know some of you guys are like, oh, fucking Grace! Ah! You know? I think she has good sources. According to Grace, not only will the Fantastic Four be from the 60s, but they'll also be from a different universe. Okay. So, hold up. Let them cook. When you consider the MCU reboot, and you consider that the current MCU has no Fantastic Four, has no Doctor Doom, has no X-Men, and then you consider that Feige's current plan to set up the multiversal stories and Secret Wars involves the X-Men, and it involves the Fantastic Four, but neither one of those teams will exist natively in the MCU 616. The reboot begins to make a lot more sense. I think many of us had wondered, how is this going to work where you're establishing the Fantastic Four right before a reboot? I think a lot of us were confused, and we had assumed that just like everything else that had gone on with Marvel, we were going to adapt the Fantastic Four into the current canon. There was going to be an explanation as for why they weren't around in the Infinity Saga. Same thing with the X-Men. Y'all remember the theories? Xavier's wiping out their memory. They're all on Krakoa, whatever. Okay? We had assumed that that's the way Kevin was going to do it. He was going to take his current MCU and he was going to adapt in these things, change them up, make it make sense. I don't think that's what he's doing. Okay? So instead, let's go back to our chart. Instead, if you look at this chart, you're going to have Earthbound stories and cosmic stories. And a lot of the X-Men and the Fantastic Four will be happening on the cosmic story side because they are in the multiverse, different universes. Then worlds collide on New Earth or Battleworld. I find it so interesting that technically they're not even calling it Battleworld. They're calling it New Earth. Okay? The reboot will establish new universes, mainly a new MCU canon, where the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, and the Avengers all exist simultaneously, and it'll be the version of the MCU that I think Feige would have done had he had all of the rights to all of those characters right away. And again, we have evidence of this. There was a post-credit scene that was recorded for Iron Man 1 with Sam Jackson, where he literally name drops the mutants. I believe he name drops the Fantastic Four as well, although I'm not sure about that. And he definitely name drops Spider-Man. So, like, we know this dude from Jump Street was trying to do just Marvel. He wasn't trying to do like, oh, well, the license got sold off, blah, 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 this, that, second, and third. He was just trying to do Marvel. He wanted Norman Osborn Tower in Avengers 1. Like, they were trying to do that. And so essentially what I think might happen, and it's kind of clever, right, is you're going to build to a universe where I personally think, and this is definitely speculative, right, but I think you'll have Hugh Jackman Wolverine. I think you'll have whatever Fantastic Four was established in the lead up to Secret Wars that's in this other universe. I think that Fantastic Four, if not all of them, most of them, in the new universe. A lot of the Fox X-Men in the new universe. I think you get... I mean, who knows what they'll do with Spider-Man? This is their opportunity to say, Tom Holland, you want to jam with us, or do we want a new Spider-Man? Like, they'll soft reboot everything together. They'll bring in a lot of the Fox characters. They'll bring back RDJ. They'll bring back Chris Evans. And here's one of the things that's, I think, super cool about this is, like, I kept thinking to myself, this current Marvel plan is not working because you took away all of these legacy characters and they can't properly pass the baton. You've just reintroduced these new characters. It's just not working. But if the new or if the old characters come back and you've got an actual universe with all those characters together, and then you want to establish some of these newer characters and still have the legacy characters there, it is a better sort of baton passing thing. And when it comes to like Children's Crusade, Scarlet Witch, you know, some of these other stories, like Children's Crusade doesn't work without Magneto and Doom. It just doesn't work. So this is how we get there. And we sort of like put everything together. Also, as I've mentioned, RDJ will be 70. Bro, like, I'm just telling you what it is. Like, this is, we're speculating, but that's what I think is going to happen. Like, we're living in the era right now of these people coming back to their roles. And it's not, I mean, we just saw Indiana Jones in his 80s come back. And I'm not even saying that was cool because I haven't seen it. I don't really care. But, like, Luke Skywalker's back. Indiana Jones is back. Like, you really think RDJ can't come back and give us like 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 more years? How long has Hugh Jackman been coming back? He took a big break and all of a sudden he just comes back, and y'all think that's just a couple movies? You know what I mean? Like, we're speculating, but I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna say that it's not possible just because RDJ's 70, I don't think you're paying attention to what's going on in Hollywood, okay? So, again, this is what's kind of interesting about this. The clues are kind of there. I think Feige, via Loki Season 2 and the Time Loom, is, like, basically fucking spelling it out there for us, explaining it. And the thing that's weird is, like, after the reboot, you'll have a new 616. But you'll also have other universes. So there's a whole new multiverse that he can set up. There's even been some rumblings, although I don't know how real this is, that you might get a Ultimates universe that's set up around that time. So, like, they might do MCU and just kind of keep it going and bring everybody back. But then maybe they do the Ultimates universe. And that's where we get a whole new Tony, a whole new Steve, a whole new Cap, a whole new beginning of Marvel, which I think would be kind of dope. So I think, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's what you're looking at. I think that's the plan. Now, there are a lot of ways that this could go wrong and ways that this might have to change. And, we'll see. But I think that's what they're working towards. And I also think, by the way, that although there's a lot of pressure on them to delay Secret Wars and continue to get all this stuff right, and I think with, the strikes and everything, there's obviously a lot of considerations there. I think they need to get to Secret Wars as fast as possible. This is probably why he wanted Secret Wars in 2024. It's probably why he wasn't interested in doing MCU Mutants. At least not until after what he was going to do as a soft reboot, right? So, yeah, that's the theory, and that's kind of what I think is going on. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? RDJ doing car shows now? I mean, yeah, that's true. But how does that happen? What do you mean, how does it happen? Like, I don't understand that question. There was no real plan after Endgame, and it's evident. No, there was a plan. I think the problem was there was a plan. Here's what it is. This is just my opinion on it, and, it's an informed opinion for sure. The plan was, just like everything else at Marvel, they had an end point. They had a few things they wanted to hit, but they didn't know how to get there. Okay, so you say no plan. I say maybe a plan that was too far out. The other thing that happened was obviously just all the shakeups with COVID. And the issue is when you have such an interconnected story, one delay, one change changes everything else down the pipeline because it's all supposed to be so connected. So, yeah, I mean, I've talked about it a million times, but it's not that they didn't have a plan. Like, I'll tell you this. Marvel coming out of Endgame had way more of a plan than Star Wars did going into The Force Awakens. That's just facts. Like, that's just what it is. Like, Star Wars was like letting the directors and writers decide the story as it went along. Feige was like, no, we're doing Secret Wars. Like, how do you think, like, Charles Murphy knew about that in 2018 and 2019? Because it's fucking out there, dude. That's what he was planning. So he was planning it then. All right, let's see what else you got to say. They will not afford RDJ Evans and others. Disney is on the road to lose almost everything. They only chance to pull this off after they sell Disney or Marvel. So that is an interesting question. I think Disney is in a pretty bad spot, but Marvel is like their most successful, most profitable IP, I think, period. And it's not just in the movies, right? It's in the merchandising. It's in the licensing. It's in the video games. It's in the parks. You know what I mean? All that sort of stuff. Marvel is a massive generator for them. But make no mistake, Disney has huge problems going on right now. Huge problems going on right now. So how do they resolve that? How do they pay for all of those actors? And how do they figure that out? I mean, I think the formula is simple. It's not as... I don't think it's as crazy as you would think. The formula is pay the legacy actors legacy money, get some new blood in there that carry most of these projects. Because it's not like you guys got to understand. I don't think, like, what I'm talking about is the way that RDJ would pop up in different movies. Like, we're not getting Iron Man 4 with RDJ, I don't think. I think instead, the Avengers will be established. And that's just who they are. Even Cap. They might even do Old Man Cap. I'm not 100% sure, but it could be Old Man Cap, and Sam could still be doing his thing. But just Steve Rogers is there, which was compelling. When Steve Rogers was actually there, and some of that stuff was really compelling. And the same with Wolverine. Like, bro, they're not... like, the way I'm imagining this is because we just heard that Laura Kinney... what's the actress's name? That played X-23. What's her? Daphne Keane, I believe, right? Daphne Keane. Chauncey Scott, welcome to the Nerd Vengers at the prime level. Daphne Keane is apparently being approached to, like, be X-23 for reals. And so you might have Logan, Hugh Jackman, being a little bit more like an old man mentor to Daphne. But, like... And I know some people just won't, like, they'll just like, no, I want like them. It's like, that's not what you're getting. What you're getting instead, though, is a better version of what we've got right now. which is like there's no legacy characters. There's no way to have awesome moments with them. There's no way for them to properly mentor or pass the baton. So it's just not working right now. So I think Daphne Keene is dope. I think X-23 is dope. That's a dope character. And there are cool moments in comics with her and Logan. So I think, a little extension of that in the MCU, like stuff like that is like what I think is going to happen. Because Toast said all new, all different Marvel. And I fucking hate all new, all different Marvel. But if you want to try something like that, you've got to fix the biggest mistake that all new, all different Marvel had. And that's that all new, all different Marvel sort of besmirched all of the legacy characters and uplifted all of the new characters. That just doesn't work. Like, nobody wants a legacy. Nobody's going to cheer for the new legacy character if you're shitting on the old legacy character. Like, that's a mistake that I think is obvious and should be obvious. The only way to correct that is to have proper justice done for the legacy characters and the legacy actors. So that's kind of what I think you're going to get in a post-Secret Wars, post-New World MCU. Yeah. What are some future villains coming to the MCU? Well, there's a ton of cool villains that are going to show up, but I would say after the MCU soft reboot, what villains are they going to do? I think it has to go back to Thanos, to be honest with you. I think that's the move, is to go back to Thanos. They have the Celestials they could do. Potentially even the Beyonder Kang. There's a lot of cool stuff they could do. We shall see. Yeah, I think King Thanos is the move, though. RDJ is currently 58. We have time. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, dude, think about it. Josh, you mean, hi, they should have done Star Wars. What? Who are the Avengers? That's the problem. We don't even know. So, Josh, do you think after Secret Wars, the MCU would do an expanded universe like the MCU EU that would have crazy dope stuff like Punisher, War Machine, live action 29? It's also possible they do that. Yeah, for sure. X-Men Evolution Rewatch, X-23 episodes. I don't like that. Josh, it really seems like Levy is being groomed for Secret Wars. Free Guy was a bunch of different characters, different world type movie, Atom Project, time variation movie, Deadpool 3, no explanation needed. I agree. And it's just kind of funny how some of those things happen because it certainly seems like he's being groomed for it, but it's also the choices he made, and it's a little bit of serendipity. So it's cool how that kind of stuff happens, But, I think, yeah, Kendall, I agree. I think that's what it is, yeah. Oh, just back to you for 45 on the... Dude, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jeffrey. I really appreciate that. Let me talk a little bit about Unity as well. But we're going to get into Q&A in just a minute because I definitely want to know what y'all think about this. This is a lot. We just went over a lot. But I think, I'll tell you this. It's either spot on and I'm really, really good at what I do, or I'm way fucking off, but we still had a lot of fun talking about it. You know what I mean? So either way, I hope you had fun kind of getting into it and speculating about what all that could be. Okay, now, what I want to say to y'all is, I wrote a goddamn comic book, okay? It's freaking awesome. It's called Unity. It's on Kickstarter right freaking now, okay? It's about... Oh, I'm going to turn that off. It is about the world getting superheroes and then a war happening and the superheroes pretty much destroying the planet. There's this police force that is created called the Unity Corps. They either capture or recruit all of the different superheroes. Oh, and there's this big golden alien dude who comes down and mysteriously helps us out to capture all of those superheroes. It's a really dope story. We've got a professional level team on it. It is currently on Kickstarter right now. Let's check it out. Let's go to the numbers. Almost halfway to 4,500. We have 9 days to go. It is all or nothing. If we get to this 50K, then we get to make this massive, awesome comic book. If we don't make it to 50 in the next 9 days, we raise zero money, and we have to go back to the drawing board and figure out what is next for the book. So help us out. Help us to bring this new IP to life. And tomorrow on this channel, I will be live with Rob from Comics Explained, which I'm super excited about. And Rob is going to be asking me questions about the comic. So if you want to know more about the actual story, the lore, the characters, come on by tomorrow. I could really, really use a lot of eyeballs on that stream. I think it'll be sick to be able to talk about the book because there's deep lore. And I haven't been able to really talk too much about the lore, the creative process, stuff like that. So it's going to be dope, man. I'm really excited. Link in the description. There's a link in the chat. It's on my pinned tweet. 9 days left. Let's get this book funded, baby. Let's get this book funded. And let's get into the game. The indie comics game. Okay. Let us now get into the Q's and the A's. We'll do the soupy chats, the member chats, the chat, and we'll just hang out. We'll just hang out, guys. We'll just hang out. David Saunders says, what's up, nerds? Let's have a great week. Appreciate you, brother. Rob says, so I love Ahsoka, but what if Tom episode is hot garbage? Think I might melt if that happens. Let's go. Wait, what? I love Ahsoka, but what if tomorrow's episode is hot garbage? Yep. Let's talk about that for a second. How can I get a Unity shirt? Hang on, I'm going to sneeze and then I'll answer that. So if you've already backed the Kickstarter, you can adjust your pledge and add one of the t-shirts, or you can just add the dollar amount and then message me privately and I can get you the t-shirt that way. So that's a way to get the t-shirt if you've already backed the campaign. If you haven't backed it, when you go to back it, it'll pop up with all the different add-ons. So there's some bundles, so you can get more books cheaper, and there's a bunch of t-shirts, so you can do it that way. Okay, so what Rob is saying is, what if tomorrow's episode sucks? And I gotta say, I think there's a lot on the line tomorrow. I don't want to talk full spoilers right now. We're going to talk tonight at 8 p.m. We're going deep, baby. Don't show up tonight if you don't want spoilers. You know what I mean? Which, by the way, it's all good. I get it. It's all good. But, it's like, I know Theory doesn't love spoilers. There's some people over there that don't love spoilers. It's all good, baby. It's all good. Tonight, we're opening up the tower late, and we're going fucking deep. But what I will just say for now to Rob's question is that a lot of the changes that happened to this episode, I think, are for the better. There was a moment where I was bummed about some of the stuff that they removed, but I think it's going to serve the show much better. And I still think we're in for some of the coolest shit we've ever seen in Star Wars. Like, trust. But you're right. There's a lot on the line. There's a lot on the line. If they deliver a turd tonight, or tomorrow night, that's going to be rough. John Johnston says, don't usually get to check these out live these days, but got bit by sadly not a radioactive spider. Go back, Unity. No Avengers for life. Yeah. Well, first of all, sorry that there's no superpowers. That sucks. Sorry it was a big old spider. I don't like spiders, man. I don't like getting bit by spiders. So, damn, I feel for you on that one. And happy to have you live in the tower, man. Appreciate you, man. Jonathan says, come to the clinic. The clinic? The Cynic? Cincinnati. Okay. Okay, Jonathan says, come to the Cincinnati Comic Expo and sign my copy. I will be definitely. I don't know if I'm going to be going. I'm going to New York Comic Con this year, but I'm probably only going to be there for like one day or whatever. Next year, especially once the entire book is completed and we have it like in people's hands, I am going to be going to some cons for sure. Probably selling some books and signing books for y'all. Talking about Unity. Next year's potentially going to be a really big year for Unity. So, yeah, definitely, man. Appreciate the love. All right. Cole Maynard says, sup, Poppy Josh. Not to get into your finances, But what if you pull all your super chats towards the Kickstarter for the next 9 days? I understand it. I get where you're coming from, but that just can't happen. They're separate things, you know? We run a business, we, do the content, and super chats is a part of that, revenue. It's a part of that experience. That's what it is. Unity is, and the thing is, Unity really is a Kickstarter that, as opposed to some other things out there and different campaigns and the way that people sell their book, this is really the launching of this new IP. So the Kickstarter is like potentially perfect for it because we get to gauge interest. We get to see what people actually want to buy. Also, on the collector's end, we're making changes to the book. So this is one of the coolest things is like the reason I want to do it in chapters, sort of collecting it, but building it over time, is because a lot of the people that get the collector bundles, I want to start getting some feedback from them almost immediately on things that we want to put into the book. So a couple of different examples, and I don't want to go too crazy on this, but let me just say there are 8 of you guys that have your own character in the book. So I have in the scripts right now written a bunch of potential characters that your character could be. So this one in particular is sort of important to a scene with Angel where she's going on a quest for discovery. That's all I can probably say about that. And potentially a couple of your characters could show up there. A couple of your characters are going to be brutally killed. I'm going to rip them apart in front of you on a big splash page. Okay? But we haven't decided whose character is going to be killed and whose character is going to be in an important scene. That's one of the things we're going to do together with the collectors. So I want to do more than just make a comic. Like the community's coming along too. The community's coming along, and so yeah, it's got to be separate, brother. But I get you. Kendall says, does Marvel have continuity officers or something who work with each movie and show, connecting their plots to the larger story? They probably do. I know there are like story editors that work on most movies that kind of keep a continuity. I'm sure there are people like that at Marvel. I guess my question, and this is probably what you're kind of getting at, is like, dude, how is that even possible now? You know what I mean? Like with how crazy everything is, like, is that a whole team? Like, is it just Feige? Is it AI? Is the Kevin robot real? Like, what the hell's going on? You know what I mean? So I don't know the answer to all of that. But yeah, I would assume they have people that hold it, Dan the Man says, if Marvel wants to keep telling stories while rebooting the MCU, it's imperative Secret Wars drops no later than 2027. Actors age and fans check out. I agree. I think it has to be I think they have to do it quickly. And so yeah, I think that's the big thing right now is like, okay, like that's what we got to do. That's the plan. That's where all the focus needs to be. And yeah, I absolutely agree. Like, I think that's what it is. But I would also argue that Secret Wars itself and maybe potentially Secret Wars Part 2 with Eternity Wars, that is all going to be, it's not technically the new MCU, but for all intents and purposes, I think it will be the new MCU. Do you know what I mean? Chandler says, could you go live and talk about Star Wars since Theory won't be here for Nerd Theory? Yes, we're going to go live at 8 p.m. tonight. Normal Nerd Theory time. It'll be on this channel, and we're going to go deep on the leaks, the rumors, the speculation, and we're going to get ready for Ahsoka Episode 5. It's going to be cool. Marky says, hello, Josh. I'm days away from 6 months, and I want inside of the Diamond Lounge. Please, kind sir, let me in. Dude, I had a great time on the Diamond Lounge on Friday. Thank you to everybody that was there. I felt like that was a really fun stream. We got nice and toasty, and we talked a lot of shit, and we had a lot of fun. So, yeah, thanks for everybody that was there on Friday. And we will do another Diamond Lounge soon, but probably not for a couple of weeks. Probably not for a couple of weeks. Okay. John Hicks, very generous $20 holla, says, I'll catch up on the replay, but just caught a glimpse of a sweaty drawn diagram of the time loom and got jacked up. Take my money. Hey, I appreciate it, bro. Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like that, guys, I feel like this is a good theory and a good chart. And, like, you guys are real kind and you're very supportive, but, like, did I not just, like, pull it all together for you guys? Did I not just, like, make it all make sense? Like, did I not just fucking do my thing? Where is the love? What the hell? What? What? Explain it to me like I'm 5. Nah. This channel needs more charts and graphs? Maybe. I don't know. Is it just too weird? Are you guys like, what? Like, I don't get it. He just, what the fuck? Like, what? Does it not, like, make... Whatever, man. Toxic says, Josh, getting me hyped the fuck up. See, that's what I'm talking about, Toxic. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Chauncey, welcome to the Nerd Avengers. Dirt Wizard says, very generous 10, says, after starting my annual MCU rewatch this week, and I think the MCU needs RDJ and Evans back as Cap. They really carry the entire saga with Thanos. They can pass the torch properly later. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Where's the hype? Where's the excitement? You guys are like, I don't know about this. Let me just ask you this. If I'm 100% exactly right, like, will you guys be impressed then? Like, if next, like, by the time, I would say probably next summer at Comic-Con, we probably get to learn some of this. Fuck you, Jacob! How dare you? Also, I'm just kidding. Much love, bro. Josh has his own penis moment a la John Campea. Wow. The internet. The freaking internet, man. Jeez, guys. All right, anyway. The Lord of Darkness says, sup, Josh? I think Ahsoka's going to blow our minds tomorrow and be even cooler than last week. I agree with that, actually. Thank you for the love, man. 004 Blaze Fire says, what's up, Josh? You got me into Warhammer. Just bought the Tyranid Codex yesterday. Watched all your lore videos. Hype for Ahsoka Episode 5. Thank you, brother. And I'm trying to drop the next Warhammer video this week, guys. It's just been crazy. A lot of, like, Unity stuff. Den of Nerds has been crazy because there's just, like, a lot of videos. And then I had to, like, totally remake the video yesterday. It's just a lot of stuff going on. But I'm so happy for you that you're into the hobby. I played a game last night, Custodes vs. Sisters of Battle. It was fantastic. Had a great time with my buddy. And Custodes, even though they got nerfed, are still really strong, so I'm trying to figure them out a little bit. But having a blast playing Warhammer, man. So I'm glad that you're in. King Kevlight says, for Unity, add a kid whose dad was one of the mastermind of the apocalypse. Midas killed the dad. The kid becomes the villain, Divide. Then a silver hero, Unity. That's not a bad idea, but I will just say there is a lot to the Midas character, and you're not going to learn it all anytime soon. But there's a big plan for who that character is, what that character is, where he comes from, what he's really after, and how humanity plays into all of that. It's really interesting. So, yeah, but I love the idea of like a silver version of him. That is cool. John says, how does one start a comic, publishing and printing? I want to start one to see if it kicks off. Well, there's a couple of different things, man. I mean, so there's actually a pretty big independent comic book scene, but the reality of that is like, you got to sort of build your brand over time. You just got to continue to put work out there. You know what I've been loving seeing lately, man, is some of these webtoon people have great success. So there's the gal that does the Gods of Olympus book. I forget what that one's called. And then there's a dude that does one about like crazy swords and stuff like that. It's got a very big anime vibe. And the reason I bring this up is because they've been able to become so successful via webtoons that when they do a collected edition now, they sell huge numbers. They're crushing it, which was so crazy. like I said, I've been getting like more in tune with the industry, reaching out to more folks, talking to more people, and I find it to be very interesting. So to be able to make a comic, man, you got to get in. You got to get in. You got to start learning the craft. There's great books out there. I actually like Bendis did a book years ago called Words for Pictures. Fantastic book, all about comics. Got to learn your craft. Learn the craft of not just comics, but manga and cartooning in general. There's a whole world out there. So I'll tell you this, not to discourage you, but if you think you can make comics just because you have some cool ideas, like you don't know what you're talking about. That it is a craft. It is a labor of love. You've got to be able to actually make stuff that's going to be able to like guide the reader, keep them engaged, tell a good story, have good cartooning. Like there's so many aspects to it. So, not to discourage you, but you're not going to just go out there and make great comics. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to get out there and make a lot of shitty comics for a long time. And then maybe you'll make some good comics. Darth Shibby says, what superpower is your favorite in Unity? Also, is there anything like the Lazarus Pit in Marvel? Nerd Avengers for life. That's a good question. I don't know if there's a Lazarus Pit in Marvel. There's all sorts of ways to bring people back to life, and, characters are always popping back up, but no Lazarus Pit. Unless I'm missing it, I don't think there's an equivalent thing. That's a good question. My favorite power in Unity. So this is what's kind of cool about Unity. I don't even think some of the powers are unique. It's the way I use them that's unique. So like as an example, I was talking a little bit about this on Friday. There's a character in the book that's a telepath. But the character is so strong as a telepath that he'll put memories into people's minds that will trigger if a certain things happen. And the way that character uses that power is really interesting. Okay? Yeah. So there's some really fun twists on an old lemon, but we don't reinvent the wheel necessarily with the powers. I also really like the combo of powers. So I've got a character that's as strong as Superman, but he doesn't fly, he doesn't have lasers, he can't do a frost breath, but he's very skilled as a telekinetic. So he's like Superman strong, while also using telekinesis to like help him in the fight. You know what I mean? So I like a lot of the combos and some of the fun stuff that we have going on. Yeah, a lot of good stuff. Okay, Neon Hum says, so hyped for the future of both MCU and Star Wars. Nerd Avengers for life. I'm excited about the potential. I'm nervous about the execution. I think if anything, the last couple of years have shown us both of these studios are definitely capable of not delivering the goods. You know what I mean? So they've got some good ideas, man. They need to execute. And I think Ahsoka's doing well. It didn't start out great, but that episode last week was incredible. And I think tomorrow night will be incredible. And I think the rest of the season's going to be incredible. But you never know. We'll see how it goes. That's great execution if they nail that. But I don't know what comes next for Star Wars. It's very shaky, right? Marvel, we've got to get through some kind of yucky stuff. I include the Marvels in that, even though the Marvels might be good and it might have some really cool stuff setting it up, the future stuff. I'm just not feeling it. Echo, not feeling it. What If Season 2, frankly, not feeling it as much. X-Men 97, super nervous about. So Marvel has this problem of like everything we talked about today and our time loom is dope as hell. But the question is, how much of that is actually going to make up the content we're going to see in the next couple of years, right? That's the question with Marvel. But yeah, I agree. There's a lot to be excited about. Rosie says, come to Dragon Con in Atlanta. It's the biggest in the dirty South. It's Memorial Day weekend every year. It's a really good con. I've heard great things about Dragon Con. So, yeah, I think Dragon Con is on the menu. We'll see, maybe next year. DJ with a very generous 10 spot says, Josh, excited for Ahsoka tomorrow and really enjoyed your Ahsoka Explained video. But in all seriousness, what do you think happened with Reva that didn't connect with fans compared to why we all love Shin? Well, I think there's a couple of different things. I mean, first of all, look at the character that Reva is compared to the character that Shin is. So Shin is subordinate. She's subordinate to Balin. She's subordinate to the witch. And there's love for that. There's like a love that she has for Balin, and there's animosity that she has for Shin. Okay. How much have we even heard Shin speak in the show? How much have we even heard her speak in the show? So Shin is being loved, I think, mostly because of it's almost like the Boba effect, where she's a background character that it has this mystery. There's a lot we don't know, and when she does speak, it feels impactful. There's like a little bit of like, what is that going on? And I think she's also really compelling on screen. It's great costuming, which Reva did not have. It's a great performance, which, you know, I think Moses actually turned in a good performance. It's not Moses' fault that the Reva character sucks. But I think when you look at why people like Shin, it completely tracks and makes sense. Reva was a character that was obnoxious, that seemed to be like didn't actually obey, wasn't like subservient, had this energy that felt out of place for the scenes, and also was just way too much of a focus in a show called Kenobi that's supposed to be about Anakin and Kenobi. So I think like when you look at what they did with Reva and you look at what they do with Shin, Shin is not designed as a main. Shin is an interesting side character. Reva is an uninteresting, obnoxious, forced, front and center main character. Her costume also looks like shit. Like, the first time I saw Reva on a trailer, I said, you know, Star Wars has always done a great job with their character designs and their costuming. If a character's evil, they find ways to accentuate that evil. If a character's good, they have ways to accentuate that good. Reva's costume looked like nobody wanted to make her actually look evil. It's like everybody was like, I don't know exactly why, but she just looks like Reva. She just literally looks like Moses Ingram in shitty cosplay. So, like, basically, I think top to bottom, they failed the Reva character. And when it comes to Shin, it's not even like they came up with this brilliant stuff for Shin. They just didn't get in the way of some cool shit that ended up resonating with fans. Like, that's what it is. To me. And I've definitely seen people, like, in my opinion, trying to race bait, trying to claim that, like, people didn't like Reva because she's black. And, like, I just think that's so ridiculous. Like, I think that is so absurd. But, you know, whatever you got to do, I guess. But, yeah, I think there's fundamental, explainable reasons as to why one character works and resonates with fans and one character doesn't. And some of that is just a mystery. Like, for instance, who's the main character of Lost? What's the main character for Lost? What was that character's name? Okay. Do you know that in the pilot, that character died originally? In episode 1. Did you know that? You can look it up. So, they looked at that. They had a bunch of fan screenings. And they were like, oh, people really like this character. So let's change this. So what I mean is, like, sometimes what endears an audience to a character is a little unpredictable. You know what I mean? So, it's funny, like, you're just taking me to, like, different thoughts. I was thinking about an interview I saw with I think her name is Palm. The girl that played she played one of the female characters in the newest Mission Impossible film. Is her name Palm, I think? Chat, help me out with that. So I was watching an interview with her, and she said this, like, pretty interesting thing where she was talking about how with Christopher McQuarrie and with Tom Cruise, they try to inject, she's Mantis, they try to inject these little moments within action sequences that endure an audience to the character. So, like, a little thing, like maybe in the middle of a fight, one character drops their weapon and the person they're fighting pauses and allows the character to pick up their weapon. That's just such a small little moment, but little things like that can make an audience like a character. And again, you want to talk Reva, it was so forced. Like, I just don't see any of that same energy. Like, I think top to bottom, they dropped the ball with that character. Ironically, maybe they dropped the ball in some ways because they were thinking about all these, like, optics, sensibility questions. But, like, the problem is, like, that's actually worse. That makes it worse, not better. Because it leaves it feeling inorganic. It leaves it feeling forced and not good. So I just think top to bottom, they failed that character. And with Shin, it's just like they got a little lucky, a little bit of Boba effect, and also the character doesn't get in the way. The character doesn't feel forced. The character doesn't feel like, hey, this is actually the Shin show. You feel me? Have you watched the new Changeling show on Apple TV or No, I don't have Apple TV. I would be down to get Apple TV. The new there's like a show about Godzilla, or I guess it's more correctly about Monarch. That's coming to Apple TV or whatever. It might be the first that might be the first one that gets me. Cuz for whatever reason, we've been on a little bit of a Godzilla kick at home. Like we watched Godzilla vs. Kong, and then I showed Elisa the Godzilla anime on Netflix. Yo, that shit is actually awesome. Like, that shit bops, bro. Like, it's really good. So, been on a little bit of a Godzilla kick. So, maybe just right time for us. But, yeah, I'm into it. Foundation is incredible. I've heard that. I've heard that Ted Lasso's really good, too. Yeah. All right, everybody. I'm going to get out of here. So I think I'm still going to be able to drop a video in the afternoon that's talking about redeeming Anakin. I'm going to have to change it a little bit because of some of the stuff we now think is going to be in the episode. So I'm going to get on out of here. Again, no Nerdvenger stream tomorrow. We're doing that on Thursday. Big stream with Rob from Comics Explained. All about Unity tomorrow. By the way, come with your questions. If you've got questions about the book, come with your questions tomorrow. I think it's going to be a good conversation. So that'll be super fun. And at 8 p.m. tonight, guys, I will see y'all on this channel. And it's time to talk about Ahsoka. It's time to dive deep. It's time to speculate. It's time to talk about rumors, leaks, all of it. So I'll see you guys tonight at 8 p.m. Unless you're trying to stay spoiler-free, and that is all gravy as well. Okay? All right, everybody. Much love to you all. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Oh, man. Oh, man. Much love. Much love. I'm feeling good. I feel like I just figured out the whole MCU and nobody gave me enough credit today. What the fuck? But I'm feeling good. Unite, Ahsoka, and hopefully more juice, more graphs and charts and Venn diagrams and Baba Fricks and all the cake and yeah, man. Open up your third eye. Wash out your stinky butt. I'll see you later.